Boy, it was a rough one for the offense and C.J. Stroud. What happened, and was there any good to talk about with this offense? We'll talk about it here on the video. Welcome into the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Let's talk some Texans. Appreciate you joining in live. If you're watching live, get in the comment section all your comments and questions addressed here in the video. If you're watching after the fact, appreciate you checking out the video. Comment section still active for you as well. Throw a thumbs up on the video, like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can't like the channel. If you like the channel, you subscribe to it. You know what I mean. Let's talk about some Texans. Hey, C.J. Stroud, rough day on the accuracy scale for him. The defense dominated the rushing attack, 14 and 24. I couldn't tell them apart today. And, well, there were some good one-on-one reps that I want to talk about that kind of made me scratch my head about how things went down later in practice. But we'll get to all of your comments and questions. Let's get started with Stroud sales a few. I mean, look, there was just not the most accurate day for C.J. Stroud. And he had a couple of high passes. Early on, it looked like, he just kind of not all the way 100% accurate like he usually feels like he is. Like, he is an accurate thrower. He rarely is making mistakes. And sometimes when he sails a ball, or sometimes when it's a little bit out of reach, that's sort of on purpose so that he can keep the defender from making a play. But he was just flat out airmailing a few of these. Today, it wasn't accurate as it usually is. It wasn't as crisp as it usually was, but he was still out there going and making some plays. He had one really nice play where throwing it high actually was of a huge benefit to the offense. He put one high in the air. Nico Collins went up, ripped it out of the air. The pass went over Azeez Al-Shire and in front of the safeties that were coming in, but it just wasn't the crispest day from C.J. Stroud on some of the intermediate and long throws. He just didn't complete them like he usually does, and he didn't put them in places like he usually does. And that's okay. You don't have to be perfect every single day in practice. C.J. Stroud's going to get a nice little rest here because the next time he's due on the practice field is on Monday when they're in Cleveland practicing in Ohio, which, by the way, myself, Landry Locker from the Locker Room, will be there live giving you training camp updates from Cleveland. But he's due for a couple of days off, rest, relax, and days like this give you a chance to reset, refocus. Hey, why was I throwing long? Why did I have a high pass? What went wrong? What didn't go wrong? Or what didn't go right? I'm not super worried about this, and I know I've seen people on social media and some of the comments from people who haven't been able to go, and probably I would tell you that I haven't mentioned it as much. Stroud's been really good so far. So when he has a day that's a little bit of a hiccup compared to what it is, that's okay. Now, if he had 4 or 5 days where he was sailing every pass and it didn't look good, okay, then we'd have a little bit of concern. And by the way, he was super accurate on a lot of the short stuff. And that was really the only kind of thing that was working against the Texans defense today was a lot of short stuff. You're short, quick, make a quick decision, make a quick read, get it to the open guy. There weren't a lot of failures in that operation, but of course that doesn't really move the football at an accelerated pace. And I have to wonder too how much of the defense's success is, hey, the defense just played really darn well today versus, hey, the offense is working on something. They don't game plan for this defense. And so when those two things come together, the offense is working to work on something very specific. When that comes together with the defense just kind of unleashing hell on the offense, does it lend itself to the defense having a lot more success? I do feel that way. So, look, I tell you every day that Stroud's really good, but it would get repetitive. So it is notable when he has a little bit of a hiccup day with a couple of passes here or there. He had one that was a little out in front of Stefon Diggs that probably should have completed. Ultimately, short stuff, quick stuff, he was pretty darn good. It's not an accuracy problem. It was just an accuracy off day on some of those throws. And part of it feels like the offense is working out on it. Part of it was the defense was damn good. I mean, the defense kicked ass today for the Texans. Like I didn't feel like the offense was disjointed. I just felt like the defense had a really, really big day. And we'll talk a little bit more about your comments and questions here in just a second. The defense dominated the rushing attack. I cannot recall that many positive rushes for the Houston Texans offense. Doesn't matter if C.J. Stroud was handing the ball off or Davis Mills was handing the ball off or Tim Boyle or Case Keenum were handing the ball off. The defensive line and the linebackers and even the safeties coming up on a couple of those plays were just kicking tail today. I mean, they had a fantastic day stopping the run. Damian Pierce could get nothing going. Daria Gumbawale could get nothing going. Jawar Jordan could get nothing going. British Brooks is the only one that felt like he had a couple of nice runs, and even then, he was still stuffed for no gain or one quite a few times. Even Jawar Jordan, when he ran the ball, just a handful of yards. Cam Akers had one breakthrough run that was about 6 or 7 yards, but the front seven for this Texans team, in the whoever the considered starters are, the backups, the backups, they all played really well. And like there were multiple times in my notebook as I'm writing down, I just wrote down TFL. And usually when I get TFL, I write down who the number was. Multiple times, I just wrote down TFL and then D, because the entire defense deserved it. I mean, they were collapsing sides of the offensive line. And again, it didn't matter which offensive linemen were in there. It didn't matter which defenders were in there. The defense was having a really good day stopping the run. And by virtue of stopping the run, it felt like, again, something the Texans really focused on and working on today. By virtue of stopping the run, it made it pretty difficult to get the passing game in a rhythm in some of those team periods, put the passing attack in a couple of third and long scenarios, and the next thing you know, pass rush is unleashed. Those guys are getting after it. Danielle Hunter had 3 sacks that I counted in my notes today. It was just a defense-dominant day. And the offensive line, D'Amico Ryans talked about it this week, still gelling and meshing. They still need some of that cohesiveness, whereas it feels like the defensive line, they've picked up the system really well. They know what they need to do. They're attacking, and it was a really good day for the defense yet again. Now, we've had a handful of days in a row here for the defense. Now, the offense gets a little bit of a break somewhat. They'll go against the Bears, not the first-team offense. I wouldn't expect to see very many starters, if any, in the game against the Bears, but they'll get a little break. The next time the offense and the defense are on the field, first team, and me in Cleveland, and that'll be a good one. That'll be kind of a, hey, did they get a chance to watch some of the film, pay attention, put some work in, and kind of fine-tune and work out some of the things that weren't going well for the Texans on the offensive side of the ball in this practice. That is just something that has stuck out to me this week and throughout the course of about 4 practices in a row. The defense is ahead. The defense is playing better than the offense, and the defense is regularly doing that throughout the lineup. It doesn't matter. Throughout the depth chart, I guess I should say. It doesn't matter who's in there. They're putting success together. It started with stopping the rushing attack really well today. It found itself into the passing attack a couple of times as well. So not too shocked or surprised by that, because the defense, they have an easier job. The offense more complicated. Got a couple of new pieces in there in the offensive line. It's a tough defensive line for the offensive line to block, and you're still figuring a lot of things out about this offense. And again, the offense works on stuff that is not game planned to the defense. So a lot of the defense is just react to it and read it. So not worried about it. Now we're 3, 4, 5 more practices into this thing, and I'm sitting here telling you defense every day. Worry a little bit about that, but no panic button. Haven't even lifted off the little glass case from the panic button either. You don't have to worry about new furniture and buying new furniture and paying a crazy price if you go to my friends at Urban Furniture and Decor. Urban Furniture just simply is great furniture at great prices. You can look at it right there on the website, urbanfurnituredecor.com. Urbanfurnituredecor.com is the website. You can see all the prices of all the furniture they've got right there on the web. They'll even deliver it to you. You can buy it right there online, and they'll deliver it to you. And if you're from out of town, they'll deliver it to you across the continental United States. The 48 states, Hawaii and Alaska. Urban Furniture will deliver the furniture to you. Specializing in Turkish furniture, but they've got beautiful Italian furniture, your traditional American furniture, and the best of modern styles. Something for everybody. I always say, from the bedroom to the breakfast room, Urban Furniture has you covered on any type of furniture that you might need. Go see the gorgeous showroom, 7909 Hillcroft. Sit on the couches, in the chairs, lay on the beds, and see what clicks for you. You'll find something, and you'll find it at a great price. Urban Furniture, urbanfurnituredecor.com, urbanfurnituredecor.com. Couple more comments from me, and then we'll get to your comments and questions in the comment section. Stingley and Lassiter were awesome today. There was a little bit of one-on-ones here, and Lassiter had a win, and Stingley got Stefon Diggs. But later on, Stingley steps in front of a pass, knocks it down on Tank Dell. Lassiter's all over a couple of guys later on in the team period. He stepped in front of one on Tank Dell. It was actually a really good play. Dell kind of sat down in the route, and I didn't know if Lassiter was going to recover in time and get over there and knock it away from Tank Dell. But sure enough, he did. He beat Dell to the ball. Dell's stationary once he sits down in his route, and Lassiter's over there knocking it away. I mean, they looked really good today as a duo on the field together. I'm excited to see them against competition that's not the Texans receivers, not guys they go against all the time, not guys they rep against all the time, not guys that they have an extreme knowledge of, not only from watching them, but going against them. I'm really excited to see Kamari Lassiter versus some non-Texans wide receivers. And then we know what Derek Stingley brings to the table, but watching them in tandem with the rest of the defense is going to be a fun watch as well, especially if Lassiter, if they can trust him a little bit more, leave him on an island, give him the chance to win some man-on-man matchups, then that does get really exciting for the potential for the rest of that defense. Not having to worry about a linebacker, in the zone over here near Kamari Lassiter, or having a safety help over the top. If they can trust him a couple of different times on man-to-man matchups, that's going to be really intriguing to see what DeMeco Ryans and this defense can accomplish if they can trust both of those cornerbacks to a high level. Now, look, he's a rookie. There's going to be moments where he gets got, and it's going to be moments where he looks bad. That happens to every rookie defensive back, every rookie cornerback. But Lassiter, man, he looked the part today. He was flying around, even stuck his nose in there on a couple of rush plays where the defense looked really good as well. And then Derek Stingley doing Derek Stingley things. It's rare to see anybody who's not Stefon Diggs or Nico Collins or Tank Dell beat Derek Stingley. And he has his fair share of wins against those guys as well. So the lockdown duo in full effect here in this practice. And this was so one-on-one standouts, and then throwing it to the rest of practice here. John Mechie had two really good reps in one-on-ones, and really liked what you saw from that. You just don't see it show up as much in the rest of practice. Like, he goes out there, shakes loose on somebody, but you don't always see that in the team portions of practice. Mechie, again, looked really good on a couple of reps in one-on-ones, but then you don't see it as much in teams. He actually had a bad drop to, I think, start one of the drives in teams. So the consistency has not been there from John Mechie, it feels like, and he hasn't been able to translate some of the, success to later on in practice. And then got to watch a few of the big fellas, the offensive line, defensive line, one-on-ones, two-on-ones, things like that. Titus Howard and Danielle Hunter, man, I tell you what, Titus Howard had a really nice one-on-one rep against Danielle Hunter. And I mean, he was ready for the power. He locked himself in. He wasn't moving. He had Danielle Hunter, locked in there. It was a really good job by Titus Howard. But then again, as I mentioned, later in practice, Danielle Hunter's hitting him with all sorts of moves, and he's getting big victories over Titus Howard in the team portion. Shaq Mason had Khalil Davis. Davis tried to get speedy with him, and Shaq Mason just kind of moved him out of the way. Earth mover. Quick sidebar, Shaq Mason, not a litterer. Saw him throw some stuff in a trash can. He missed, and then he actually went back and picked it up. So good job by Shaq Mason. Earth mover, who cares about the earth. Great job. And then Blake Fisher. Look, it's a lot better looking for Blake Fisher when it's not Will Anderson or Danielle Hunter rushing him. I mean, he has a lot of success against Derek Barnett. He had a lot of success against Jerry Hughes in one of the one-on-one reps. And so Fisher, I mean, there's something there. I probably underrated how good he could be as a rookie. I hope we don't have to see him on the field, because you don't want him to play left tackle or right tackle. That means Titus Howard or Laramie Tunsil is not playing for this team. So I don't want to see Blake Fisher, but what I have seen from Blake Fisher, there's some fun stuff when you're kind of projecting what he could be as an offensive tackle. And he's had a couple of really nice moments. And then Derek Barnett, he's an important piece with the Nico Autry suspension. Derek Barnett is a guy that bumps up the depth chart. He kind of takes over Autry's place as defensive end, and Barnett had some really nice moments. He combined with Danielle Hunter on a sack at one point, and then he won some one-on-one stuff as well. So it was a really good practice for Danielle Hunter. Derek Barnett. He's had some really nice moments and put together a nice little resume here in training camp. So it's been a good job by I want to say Danielle Hunter. Derek Barnett. Got to get off the D names here. Get it right. Danielle Hunter's been awesome, but Derek Barnett has had some good moments as well. So those are my updates for you. Let's get to some of your comments. Joy's concerns. I'll tell you what, man. I'm better at talking than I'm giving you guys a performance today. Hold on for me. Wet the whistle. See if we could get this thing moving. Lumineer, good to see you. Pedro, appreciate you. Kenneth, good to see you. Did you see the video of Jeffrey Simmons attacking the Tennessee sports radio host? Who is one player you think would have come at you? So Jeffrey Simmons attacking is a mischaracterization. What happened? Simmons walked over to the live radio broadcast for one of the Titans radio stations, or one of the Tennessee radio stations, and he basically was talking smack to the host, who he said was talking smack on social media. He didn't physically attack him, but I did feel like Simmons not wanting to sit down on the microphone. Hey, if you want to talk, have the conversation with the guy or accept his conversation or offer for later off the air. I don't think anybody looked great in that one. And I mean, I don't know that the players, I feel like I'm pretty fair, so most of the time a player is going to dislike you if you're unfair to the player, or you say Dwayne Brown tweeted me one time because I tweeted a training camp rep wrong. I said somebody beat him, and he was like, "That wasn't me, bro." And I was like, "Okay, sorry, it was Derek Newton. I apologize." So, but for the most part, I'm pretty fair, and so I feel like when you're fair and you call it like you see it and you call it like it happened, players don't want to have a verbal scuffle with you. Flossie, good to see you. Mac, appreciate you rolling in. Julian, good to see you, man. Appreciate you. Killer X God. AB, you got me worried about Stroud. No. None of that. Well, second and third team give Williams trouble Thursday. I don't believe that Williams is not going to – Williams is not going to play. They've already said starters are going to play. Matt Eberflus announced that, so he's not playing. Are they going to give the Badgett, I think is his name, Tyler Badgett? His dad's the arm wrestling fella. They're going to give him trouble? Yeah. I think they got I think the second and third team defense got a little juice. Cody, what do you think Caleb Bullock's role will be? I mean, he's a backup safety right now. They got a lot of veterans at the safety room. Obviously, Jimmy Ward, Jalen Petre's in his third season. They move him around a little bit, and then that puts Eric Murray on the field sometimes. Then MJ Stewart's had a nice camp too. But Caleb Bullock's right now, he's a backup safety. And if he's a backup all year long, that's okay. He's a third-round pick. He's a rookie. He's got some growing to do. But, could he force himself on the field with some success later in the season? Absolutely. Texans, your daddy. Swarm the like button. Yeah, throw me a thumbs up on this video. Appreciate you. Money Mills is back. Yeah, I would anticipate you're going to get about 35% Davis Mills and the rest go to Tim Boyle and Case Keenum in that matchup. Chill Out says swarming for Stoots. maybe that's a charity thing down the road, probably. Swarming for Stoots. Maybe we go pick up trash on the highway or something. AB says defense always outplays offense in training camp. There's no game plan or anything. Yeah, that's another thing too. Is I'm not worried about offense not getting the best of defense until it happens for an entire training camp almost. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not a panic situation. Pedro L joking about the Astros trade yesterday. This stream is dedicated in memory of Joey Loperfido. Yeah, I'm going to miss Joey Loperfido. I sure hope that the new pitcher who's got an 8 ERA in his past 8 starts or whatever is pretty darn good. If you got a super chat, you go to the front of the line, like my guy Dorino. Dorino, appreciate you. He says, so excited about Thursday. Here's money. Dorino, you're very kind and you're very supportive of this channel. I certainly appreciate that, and I appreciate the super chats. And I, too, am excited about Thursday. There's a lot to get to before Thursday, and then when Thursday gets here, there's a lot to break down coming out of that game. So, Dorino, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Any update on Joe Mixon? Hey, Joe Mixon is still out, but he was working out on the sidelines with Laramie Tunsil as those guys work back from whatever has been ailing them. Tunsil's coming back from offseason surgery, Mixon, something in his lower body, maybe quad, maybe calf. I don't know exactly, but Joe Mixon working out on the sideline. I would think there's a chance you see him practice in Cleveland. Is our defense looking that good? Yeah, the defense there have been some days where the offense didn't look good, and that's why the defense looked good. And then there are some days like today that the defense looked good, and they had a good day. So there have been some of those days. Who is at defensive tackle? I mean, the starters or the guys that you see out there first are Foley, Fadukasi, and Mario Edwards. So those are the guys that get the opportunity there at defensive tackle. Which backup QBs played the best in camp? Mills. Good to see my friend Sean G in here. Sean, appreciate you stopping by. Good to see you. Tony Yayo, are you still out on Mechie? Hearing some conflicting reports. Some are gushing over his play on social media. I mean, I just tell you what I see. And I saw him in the teams have a drop today. Now, did he look good in one-on-ones? Sure. Most guys look good in one-on-ones. Ben Skoranek had a one-handed catch in one-on-ones. He wasn't doing that on the field. So, I don't believe it's been as consistent and as good as it needs to be for John Mechie. I would put Ben Skoranek on the roster over him right now. I would put Xavier Hutchinson on the roster over him right now. Now, that's off of what I see and what I understand about what's going on. Now, if I'm out here and, I find out that, Xavier Hutchinson's only open because he's running the wrong route, that's obviously not a good thing for him. But I would put Hutchinson and I'd put Skoranek on the roster over Mechie right now. That's where I am on John Mechie. Patty, good to see you. Brandon says, still think we'd draft another guard next year. At minimum, they would be a backup for Green and Mason. Yeah, probably. I mean, hell, they drafted a guard this year and ended up cutting him before camping got going. Ladarius Henderson from Michigan. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to add a guard in the future. They got options on the roster and options that should be here for a couple of years if they do stick. But you can always kind of mill that behind those guys. They need Kenyon Green to go out there and just win that starting left guard job. Don't leave it up to chance. Addy Chandrasekhar. Hope I got that close. I'm thinking Mills, Mechie, Ben, Stover, Brevin, and possibly Brown will handle our offense, excluding the offensive line. I would be surprised to see Brevin, but it's not out of the question. But outside of that, and I'd be surprised to see Brown. He got an off day today. Noah Brown did. I don't think he needs to practice he needs to play in the preseason game. Can Autry practice while suspended? Yes, he can. He can practice all the way up till the season starts, and then I think game week, that's when he can't be in the building and he's suspended, and then he'll be back. Who's one person you're looking forward to observing on Thursday night? Jawar Jordan, the running back from Louisville, who the Texans drafted late in the draft. Jawar Jordan is who I'm looking forward to watching the most. Him and British Brooks at the running back room. There's room for running back 3, running back 4 on this team, and those guys are competing very hard for that. And if they don't win that job, practice squad's certainly a conversation for them. Addy, again, I don't think so. He wasn't doing much, including taking team reps the past few days. Yeah, so he didn't practice yesterday, but Autry can practice while he's with the suspension looming. I think there are 7 running backs. How do you see that breaking down Hall of Fame game? Who gets cut first? So they cut everybody at the same time. So the cut down day is all at the same time unless they swap somebody out. Mixon's not going to play. Pearson going to play. So that leaves Dare Agumbawale, Jawar Jordan, British Brooks, J.J. Taylor, and Cam Akers. So you got 5 running backs. I would tell you that you don't need a lot out of Dare Agumbawale. So that leaves you 4 running backs for the whole game. Jawar Jordan and British Brooks, the 2 rookies, and then J.J. Taylor and Cam Akers, the guys who've been around for a couple of years. And I don't want to call them veterans. They've just been around for a couple of years. And the chance for those guys those 4 backs should handle the majority of the rushing attack in the Hall of Fame game. Have Stingley and Schultz made up? I haven't seen any kerfuffles, scuffles, or hooplas between them since. So, I haven't seen anything quite like that. Ballhawk, Bullock, Locksmith, Lassiter, and Sting the King. Nickname giver Brandon. Doesn't have the same alliteration that you put there, but it's good nicknames. Jalen Johnson 0339. Do you think Lassiter has the potential to be a cornerback one? I mean, maybe. I mean, he's looked good. Do I think he's going to be like Jair Alexander or Pat Surtain or somebody like that? No, I don't believe that's the level he's going to be. But you can be a really good cornerback in this league and not be the best cornerback in football, and not be close to the best cornerback in football. And you can still be a really good player. John, appreciate you stopping by. Lumineer, maybe CJ's been struggling because of Lassiter and Stingley are getting things done. This is huge for Stroud to learn from it. Yeah, look, coverage is tough. Got to go out there and make some tough throws, a couple of messy pockets, a couple of bad blocking, moments from the offensive line. And, hey, the offense just doesn't have the smoothness that you would hope. How's the linebacker core looking? I actually really like what the linebackers have brought to the table. No Christian Harris still for this team. But Azeez Al-Shire's all over the place. It feels like he's always in there making a play. There's a tackle for no gain, or he had a coverage snap yesterday. It was really good where he batted a ball away. Jake Hansen's looked really good. Henry To'o still gets a little iffy in coverage, but he's been filling the gaps, going up there and making plays in the rushing attack. Neville Hewitt's had some nice moments. I like what the linebackers have put together so far. How's the offensive, line looking? It's not as cohesive and moving as one as you would want from the offensive line just yet. JJ says, my favorite source of Texans things. Let's go. Appreciate you, JJ. Thank you for the kind words. Tony A. Is Lassiter better than 2015 Kevin Johnson's camp? Yes, because I'm not afraid he's going to get break every time he goes and makes a tackle. Kevin Johnson had some nice moments, but Kevin Johnson, he was rail thin. I felt like I was worried he was going to get hurt every time the ball carrier got to him. Patty says, let's get Cody subs up to par. Sub up if you haven't already, like and share. Appreciate you, Patty. Thank you. Yeah, very close to the 8,000 number. Lagging behind my buddy Landry Locker and Seth Payne, but about 87 or so subscriptions away from 8,000. 8,000 would be a fun number to get to. Jalen says, agreed, Blake Fisher's going to be the left tackle or right tackle of the future in 3 years. Yeah, he certainly has. You can see the plan happening. It's very easy to see the plan executing in the next couple of years. Tony A. Shaq Mason is a man of integrity, kind of guy that returns HEB carts to the cart receptacle. That's exactly the vibe I get from Shaq Mason because he picked up that trash when he certainly didn't have to. I think he thought he made it, and then he kind of did a double take, and then he put it in the trash cans. Good job by Shaq. Any news on starters playing time for the Hall of Fame game? I wouldn't anticipate any starters playing any of them. Killa X God, the Stoots man. Good to see you, Killa. I feel like British Brooks may have something. There's a something there. It's not useless. It's not nothing. But there's a little juice to something for British Brooks, I would think. He's a big back. He can bruise in there. He's got some good moments reading the offensive line and where he needs to go. I want to see a little bit more British Brooks. How'd the safeties look today? Solid. They actually came in there and made some plays in the rushing attack. Petrie had a nice little stuff. It looked like, there's the hole. Next thing you know, Five's in there and Petrie's stopping the running backs. Good job. Does the defense being so good mean CJ is doing bad? Kind of, but not really. CJ still has some really good moments. It's just not as you just don't have as many because the defense is out here making some plays. Preston Skull 11. Cody, what do you think about the lack of Texans in the top 100? I feel like Nico and Stingley at least should have been on there. Stingley didn't play enough last year for a lot of people, and then they're probably a year behind on Nico Collins. This is just not true. Landry is the number one litterer I know. I've seen him throw countless hundreds of pounds of trash out his car window. He is the number one litterer I know. I actually pick up extra trash to offset his awful impact on our environment. So don't listen to the locker room with Landry Locker lying about me. Likely the Texans looking for a DT that may be cut to add to the roster before the season starts. So you feel they may just settle on who they currently have. They're good at defensive tackle. And again, Autry was not a defensive tackle. Autry's a defensive end who played a little defensive tackle. So they have the depth of defensive end with, it's obviously Hunter and Anderson, and then Barnett and Hughes is who I would put, in the pecking order there. And the defensive tackle, they've got enough options. So they're not going to go and find a defensive tackle that they shouldn't feel like they have to go and find a defensive tackle, I should say. I know Steven Nelson would have gave it to Landry if he was still on the team. I actually think those two. I think Landry should go on Steven Nelson's podcast. I think that's how they should do it. I think Landry should go on Steven Nelson's podcast. You reporters be really fanned out. The athletes really don't respect or like y'all. Okay, all right. I'm glad you've talked to all of them. Texans tangents. Happy Tuesday. Excited for Thursday. Man, I woke up thinking it was Thursday. I was like, ooh. I was like, oh, it's Tuesday. But I am excited for Thursday. Thursday's going to be a fun one. And I feel like I know and have paid attention to more of the non-starters and the depth pieces than I ever have. So I am excited to watch, even, when it's the fourth quarter and, most people have checked out by then. I'm excited to see those guys and the kickoff and how the team handles the kickoff and who can make some special teams plays. Hey, did Harris practice today, or are we on for the live stream Thursday? Christian Harris did not practice today. So no Christian Harris in practice. And yeah, there will be a live stream Thursday. Jim says, it's funny this time of year. I'm excited to watch football, but 10 minutes into the first game, ready for preseason and get to the real games. Yeah, I mean, look, there's definitely some thoughts of that. I am more excited for preseason games this year than I've ever been. But I'm just excited for football games to be back. Practice is fun, but games, that's the way to go. Ramirio Vasquez checking in while you're live. Stoots always watch the streams after. Caught this one live. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Anything to note you saw from the running backs today? Couldn't get anything going. Offensive line wasn't blocking. They weren't hitting the holes, and defensive line was kicking ass. So were the linebackers. I mean, I felt like nothing worked on the ground. I already told my wife she will not have any of my attention Thursday night. LOL. Well, I mean, after the game, certainly you could give her some attention, right? You can watch the locker room post game and the Cody Stoots post game the next morning. And you can give the wife the attention after the game. If you want to sneak away in the fourth quarter and give the wife the attention, you can do that. Good to see you, Lumineer. Genesis Hall, what wide receivers do you think the preseason will benefit? I mean, Steven Sims has a chance to showcase his wide receiver abilities. We know what he can do on special teams, and he'll have the chance to showcase his special teams abilities as well. And then, obviously, if Robert Woods plays in the game, he's got to show some stuff. Mechie and Hutchinson and Jaden Yonke, who's on this team as well. Johnny Johnson will be a guy that'll get an opportunity here because of the preseason. So, is Kamari starting cornerback 1 for the Hall of Fame game? I don't believe Kamari's going to play in the Hall of Fame game. I wouldn't expect to see him. Landry's out, but go check him out here on YouTube, The Locker Room here on YouTube with Landry Locker. Don't miss out on any of the stuff that he puts together. Jaden Curry. To'o breakout, show some flashes. And second year under D'Amico. I mean, he's got a stiff competition to make the roster. He's got a chance. He's had some really nice moments in training camp. I need to see Metch get some good reps in preseason. Yeah. That one-handed catch against Lassiter looked awesome. Dat Boy Live asks, when you doing a Madden rating video or NFL top 100 video for the Texans? I probably won't cover either of those things. I don't play Madden. I haven't played Madden in a long time. And the ratings are always, they can adjust them so much now and so quick. That the ratings don't matter as much to me. And then the top 100, I don't. It's not a big deal to me. So I don't think anything's coming on those. I'd be worried if the offense was having their way with the defense, considering D'Amico's a defensive guru. Yeah, I mean, look, when the offense wins, the defense loses, and vice versa. So, I mean, you got to kind of measure it however you need to measure it so you feel okay about it. Did Tank Dell miss enough games for comeback player of the year? Probably not, but if he's really, really good, then maybe. Arden Key suspended 2 for 6 games, and Titans don't have depth. The Arden Key, defender for the Titans, he got suspended, PED violation for him. You know, what's going on there in Tennessee? What was Vrabel doing? Tank ain't getting that over Burrow or Allen. Yeah. Allen. Josh Allen? What's the comeback of the year for Josh Allen? He played last year. He wasn't hurt. Allen. Remember, comeback of player of the year is only for injuries now. It's not for performance. Dom from Jersey says, I know we still have time, but what's your gut feeling of opening day wide receiver group? Who makes it? Stefon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Noah Brown, Xavier Hutchinson, and Ben Skoranek. That's my gut today. That was what it was yesterday. It goes unchanged today. I'll be in Ohio for the enshrinement. Am I silly for not going to the game? I do have a 3-year-old who has a hard time sitting still. I would look, one or the other probably is enough for most people. The enshrinement's going to be cooler than the game, I would think. How the tight ends look today? Stover got I wouldn't call it a fight, but Stover had some words with Chris Boyd over on the sideline after he and Boyd thumped, at the end of play. Dalton Schultz had a couple of nice catches in the 2. You know what? Actually, let's do that. They had a the final team period of practice. I'll tell you the scenario. We'll go through it play by play. The final team period of practice. So they had 1 minute and 4 seconds on the clock. The offense was down 4, and they had 1 timeout. Okay? So this is how it went. CJ Stroud to Stefon Diggs over the middle, big gain. Kenyon Green false started. Then Stroud went back to Diggs, and it went right through Diggs' hands. So incomplete. So then Dalton Schultz, short pass right. Damian Pierce, short pass left. And then Xavier Hutchinson over the middle, big gain, 15 or so yards. And then the offense hurried up and spiked us. They had 20 seconds left. Dalton Schultz, right, short, 5-yard gain, 5 seconds off the clock. Tank Dell, right, short, 10 seconds on the clock. Stefon Diggs, right, short, 6 seconds on the clock, got 10 yards out of that one. Tank Dell, right, out of bounds, 3 seconds left on the clock. So 3 seconds left on the clock from the 8-yard line, okay? And CJ Stroud tried to get it into the back left corner of the end zone to Stefon Diggs, and Diggs couldn't come down with it. Pass was a little further than it needed to be, and the offense loses, defense wins. They hold on for the victory. But I was really impressed with the offense, just really everything that they needed to get down the field in that matchup. So that was a positive for the offense. I know they didn't score to win there at the end, but that was a positive. Brandon says Samson Ekubon out for the year. Yeah, for the Colts. One of the Colts defenders is out for the year already with an injury, unfortunately. Albert Moreno, excuse me. Do you think Petrie getting reps at nickel could be a way of improving his coverage ability to use at safety? I mean, it's certainly a way to get better. It's certainly a way to get better. So will it help him? I mean, I guess we'll see in the season. We'll find out there. Flyboy Dinero finally caught Cody live. Hey, appreciate you flying by. Get it? Anyway. Who do you predict to impress the most during preseason like Tank did this time last year? There's probably not a player that is going to get to that level. There's probably not a player that's going to get to that level. Maybe one of these running backs could put a little juice together over a couple of games, but I don't know that there's. The player for training camp practices is Kamari Lassiter, but I don't think there's going to be a preseason player and during preseason games that we're going to feel that way. Dada Day, you popped up in my feed. I'm supporting, but who day? Hey, a Bengals fan. Hey, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming in. You got to be subscribed to chat, so I appreciate the subscription. Dada Day. Bengals, man, they need to get some. They got some cats that want some money over there. I mean, they got some guys sitting out that would love some new contract action. But they put it all together this season. It's going to be a pretty good team. I don't like them as much as the Ravens to win the AFC North, but I would tell you there's probably only a little bit of a difference there. Kevin says things you're looking for from the polos on the sidelines, things you think they can work on. Polos on the sidelines. From the coaches? I mean, I think the coaches have done a really good job. I mean, it's up to the players to go out there and succeed. I mean, I'll be interested to see how Frank Ross operates the special teams unit. How has Juice looked? I mean, he's had some up and downs. He physically looks good. He's had some up and down moments. Brandon asks, season opener 10K subscriber party? And why not? I know Landry and I are going to do a lot of pop-arounds, over the course of the season and certainly in the preseason. And there will be some fun times to come out and hang out with us. We'll have a couple of brewskis and stuff like that. I saw Hunter blast through Titus Howard. Have the reps between the two been even? I would tell you advantage Hunter, but Titus Howard's not losing every one of them. Heisenberg, good to see you. Andrew asks, when you first became a coworker with Seth, were you starstruck? If yes, how long did it take to wear off? Starstruck, probably not the right word, but like when I was part-time on the radio station, I respected all the full-time on-air weekday hosts, to a very high level. I like to believe that I respected them to that level. And now Seth and I are buddies, colleagues in the media. It's cool. It's cool. Oklahoma Texan, Kenyon Green updates. Do you expect him to play on Thursday? Probably could play. I would say no, I don't expect him to play. Probably want to get him reps with the guys he's been practicing with. And I don't believe Scruggs or Mason or Titus are playing. Nico had one good year. Slow it down. That list got dogs all over it. Yeah, there's a lot of really good wide receivers on the top 100 list. I do not believe Lassiter will play Thursday now. I don't want any starters to play, but Jalen Petrie could use some live snaps at the slot before the season starts. Well, that's the beauty of it. They've got 3 more preseason games and a joint practice for him to get some of those snaps. So you don't have to force it. Landry the Litterer. He is a Litterer. Who are you interested to see playing? I want to see what Skoranek does. Does he have some offensive moments that add to his special teams case? T. Higgins not on the list. Wide receiver 2 don't make the top 100 list. Yeah, it's very hard to do that. CJ Stroud told me personally that he doesn't like Cody. Hey, I don't believe you. Patty says Landry got your back, bro. Yeah, I saw him letting the one guy know. Appreciate that. I always got Landry's back. He always got my back. They playing Kelly Williams? No. Landry should go on Quincy Avery's podcast. No. Quincy Avery doesn't have his own podcast. He'd have to piggyback off of somebody else's podcast success. You think Mixon will be back for practice in Cleveland? I do believe there's a chance you see Joe Mixon in Cleveland for practice. Oh boy, that's the fella that was not nice earlier. Appreciate y'all in the chat. I'm just catching up here. Sorry, I'm behind on the chat here. H-Town stand up. Good to see you. I want to see Mercy ball out and make this team. Mercy. Fill me back in here, Flyboy. All right, I got to get caught up here. Not really concerned about the offense. Defense kicking the offense training camp last year. Yeah, not as worried about it. You going to the Hall of Fame game? I am not. I'll be in Cleveland for the joint practices, but I'm not going to the Hall of Fame game. Don't expect Mixon to get 4 yards of carry behind a mediocre line. I just need 4 yards a carry. That's it. 4.0. I'll be fine with it. Regular people won't watch this game, but real NFL fans know the NFL is back. You bet. You bet. What's your honest opinion on PED suspension? How Edwards will fill that position in place of Autry? He was playing the spot in place of Autry anyway. I know the Texans have known about it for a while, but Edwards playing well has helped. The fact that Autry plays a little defensive tackle, plays a little defensive end, they have the depth to handle this Autry thing. It is not some sort of crushing deal. Do you think Stefon and Nico will have a strong connection with each other during the season? Yeah, they already have a strong connection. They already have a strong connection. Nico said that there's so many things he's already learned from Stefon Diggs, he can't even list them all. Houston football presents Gridiron Talk inside the locker room, starring Landry Locker and Cody Stoots. Live in-game reactions similar to Eli and Peyton. A little split screen with us and randomly holding a football for no reason like the Mannings. Yeah, maybe. That's not a bad idea, Jorge. Cody, how has Bullock looked at safety? Tech Stadium is looking sweet, guns up. Tebow, 49. Appreciate you, man. Kalen Bullock has had some moments in safety. They like his ranginess, so he plays like that center field a lot of times. So he's out there making cornerbacks right, is like what I like to say. But he's gone in there and mixed it up in the run game a little bit. Still want to see more. I mean, the Hall of Fame game could be a big one for him. You could see a lot more of him in some positions where he's got to make decisions and he's got to react really quickly to those decisions. I mean, Bullock's got a chance to have some nice moments in the Hall of Fame game. And yeah, that renovation they're doing in Texas Tech, it looks beautiful, man. I haven't been up there since I haven't been to a game in a long time, but I haven't been in Lubbock since 2020. I got to get back up there, man. What are the odds any offensive starters playing the Hall of Fame game? Damn near zero. Anything on Charlie Heck? Didn't practice today. Aaron Wilson says it's a foot injury, so don't know what to expect about Heck long term. Foot injury, not good. Are they playing Stroud for a drive? No. The offensive line's a concern? Certainly. There will be live streams Thursday. Not sure exactly. I know Landry's going to do post-game right after the Hall of Fame game, but not sure exactly the schedule that we have out. There will be live streams, though. What's the movie? There Will Be Blood. There will be live streams. There will be live streams. Will Sharp step in at Heck's spot at preseason? Hit him a little bit. Brokers played a little right tackle as well. Yeah, Sharp will get a little opportunity. Signed him in the preseason or in the off season from Carolina. In your daily observations, you implied that you were close to being concerned about the O-line. Do you still feel that way, and why? I am concerned about the offensive line. Look, I know it needs to gel. I know there needs to be some cohesiveness. I just feel like there should be more victories from this offensive line because Shaq Mason's a nice player. Titus Howard's a nice player. I believe in Juice Scruggs at center. Kenyon Green is supposed to be better than he has been the past couple of seasons. Like, I feel like there should be more victories for this unit than we have seen. I'm not freaking out about it, and I really will only worry about it truly when Laramie Tunsil's in there. Like, he's going to help Kenyon Green, which then helps Juice, which then, the kind of the chain reaction down the line, that's what that's what I'll really worry is if when Tunsil gets in there, they don't look good. I must be handling. I'm late. I'm sorry. You're late. You got to hit the little bell so you get the notifications. Bullock is the replacement for Petrie. I mean, look, Petrie and Bullock are, I think, the only two safeties under contract beyond this year. Jimmy Ward's contract expires. I think Murray's contract expires. Same with Stewart. So those guys could be the guys back there. How's To'o looked? Feel like we haven't heard his name mentioned at all training camp. He's had a couple nice moments. He got picked on in coverage today, but he's had a couple of nice moments. Mr. Heisenberg, not worried about the starters not playing. I just want to see some Texans football. Yeah, you and me both, man. And look, there's a lot of really intriguing depth players that should get action on Thursday. If their O-line plays their potential, they could be elite. If the O-line played to the potential, they'd be one of the better O-lines in football. They just haven't done that yet. And without Tunsil there, they can't. They can't. Cade Stover is going to be a fun watch on Thursday as well. Stover, Tegan Quateriano. I guess you might see Brevin Jordan just a little bit, but Stover and Quateriano should get a lot of work on Thursday. So that ought to be a fun one. And man, I'll tell you what, Cade Stover, pads, full contact. I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table. How is Kaimi Fairbairn doing? Pretty good. I think I've only seen him miss 2 kicks. He missed a 52-yarder, and he missed like a 35, 40-yarder at one point. But outside of that, he's been pretty darn good, and the kickoffs have gotten a little bit better. I don't want to hear we don't have to at our defense. We don't have to at our defense. I don't recall what you're talking about, Connor. I'm also having a hard time understanding that one. Front runner. What about the guy they drafted last year? Hill, wasn't he a safety? I can't recall seeing Brandon Hill make any plays in training camp yet. I think we need to pick up another O lineman, another D lineman. JJ should step in until Autry returns for Green Bay. No. Come on now. Come on. JJ's not coming back. Where is the game broadcast on again Thursday? I am pretty sure, and let me double check here. Yes, it is. That is an ABC joint. So ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Plus is where you can watch those games. Ready to see the new uniforms under the lights. You and me both. How they look under the lights with football players in them versus some other uniforms. It'll be really nice. I don't want to hear, though, we don't have to play our defense from the 2020 preseason as the offense has been steadily improving in teams. No, it hasn't been. It's been very up and down from the offense. There's not been much steadiness from the offense. But again, they're working into stuff. They're working into a lot of stuff. They're not game planning for the defense each and every day. It's different when the offense goes out there and game plans for the defense, The 99 jerseys would sell like hotcakes if J.J. Watt was back. Yeah, that's true, Albert. Space Age says Super Bowl champions usually go through adversity like this. More will come, but it's how you get through them is a key to success. Yeah, you're right about that. Look, a couple of 10 practices into training camp, I'm not worried about this team. Like, I still believe that they're going to have a really good season. I'm not worried about them. Nosh is right. I mean, this should be a crazy crowd week in and week out. Should be a crazy crowd. Tunsil just like sitting out training camp. I'll tell you what, man, if this was just sitting out and Laramie not doing anything, it'd be one thing. That dude is working his ass off on that side field, and he looks really good. He looks like he's lost some weight, trimmed up, and added a little bit of muscle. It's not like Tunsil's just sitting there doing nothing. I mean, he's on the side field doing a ton of working out. Yeah, I mean, KC started cold last year. Look how it ended up. Yep. And Brandon brings up 2 teams that started hot and went cold. Yep. Raul says, I was there at training camp, and you definitely noticed the darker candy paint red and the bullhorn rather than the faded red that was on there previously. Yeah, they've done a good job jumping in there with the colors and making it look really nice. So it's a good job. That's a good job. So, all right, housekeeping. Coming days, good stuff from the locker room, Landry Locker's channel. Go check him out. Good stuff coming here. Plenty of stuff at Houston football for you. So check that out. Latest practice observations in the link in the description down below. $7 a month. I'll make it worth your money. I promise you. You're not getting this coverage to this depth anywhere else, man. Anywhere else. I mean, I don't just write it to write it. I write it because you need to observe it. I was combing through the notebook today and just unloading on that observation article. So check that out. Also, some other fun and good stuff coming your way in the observations as well. I mean, in the Houston football as well. Talking to the hat guy, hats are on the way. Talking to the sticker guy, stickers are on the way. Stickers, we did those free last year, so we'll see what we can do with the stickers. Maybe we'll figure something out. Card art still on the way. Videos tomorrow, lead-ups to the game for Thursday, and then Thursday, obviously talking about the game as well. So lots to get to here on YouTube. Appreciate everybody watching, and you guys know that this video is brought to you by our friends at Urban Furniture. Urban Furniture and Decor. UrbanFurnitureDecor.com. UrbanFurnitureDecor.com is the website where you can find them. Look at the gorgeous furniture. Look at the beautiful furniture. Look at the sturdy, well-made furniture. Foreign, impressive, Turkish, Italian, modern American, traditional furniture, anything and everything. They've got a style for everybody. UrbanFurnitureDecor.com is the website. Go see the fantastic prices. Go look at the prices and realize just how great of a deal you're getting right there on the website, or go to the showroom, 7909 Hillcroft. You'll be blown away at how fantastic everything is in the showroom. When you see it in person, when you sit on it, when you lay on it, from the bedroom to the breakfast room, Urban Furniture has something for everybody. Luxury meets affordability, the best prices around. They are going to take care of you. You're going to get great furniture at a great price when you visit my friends at Urban Furniture. UrbanFurnitureDecor.com. UrbanFurnitureDecor.com. Appreciate them for sponsoring this video. Saw tons of work with Will Anderson Jr. on the side, too. He's definitely working out there. I mean, the dude's putting in so much work trying to get back, get ready. When he's ready, he'll get out there. And Jay Hoover, last one here. Is the struggles on the offense predominantly because of the line? But yeah, the defense plays well sometimes too. So it's a little bit of both. So I appreciate everybody jumping in today. You guys know how we finish this live stream each and every time. It's my hope for you. It's my charge for you as well. I want you to eat good. I want you to sleep good. I want you to be good. And I can't wait until we talk Texans again soon. Thanks, everybody.